or first day on Ultimate in like a long time, one or the other. Because, I don't know, something in the water tonight.
You guys don't got that Jersey water.
No. No, Long Island water better.
But for sure, I definitely am very excited only because I've never actually seen JDV like play like at all.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Am I?
You are. When it comes to his Diddy Kong, he does like a lot of traditional Diddy stuff, but because of how strong of an understanding he has with the character's tools, he'll go for some sort of random like renegade option, and in the moment, it'll just work. Would it make sense for like, it's one of those things where it's the difference between like good player with good character and then like good character player. Like JDV through and through is a Diddy Kong player. He's a good Diddy Kong. And because of that, he has, I feel, a better understanding of how to use Diddy's tools than, say, for instance, whenever we get a chance to see Zaphros' Pocket Diddy. Because that's the situation where it's a good player playing Diddy Kong. So you've got that Zaphros neutral behind Diddy Kong. But here you've got JDV's understanding, JDV's experience, all behind Diddy Kong. Because that's where it grew.
And
he's up against a pretty competent opponent by way of Limits. Like I was saying, Limits is on stream fairly often on the Fridays. And that's with no coincidence. He's a pretty consistently solid player. And when it comes to all three of the Pokemon, expect the Ivysaur to be doing a lot of work. Like, his Ivy is kind of nice.
how also do you feel about the matchup too at that? Because I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like Diddy would probably like do the best against obviously Charizard, but also against Ivysaur. Only because, you know, you still have that kind of like consistent neutral with Ivysaur, you know, mainly using Razor Leaf, you know, Fair and whatnot. But Diddy also has Banana and is a monkey with really good, you know, like just tools in general.
It's going to be interesting to see because I feel like Diddy Kong and Squirtle cut from the same cloth. They're combo fiends that are going to lock you down one interaction and lots of damage, or a lot of stage control, one or the other. So who's going to come out better out the gate is really going to dictate how this game one's going to go. And it looks like Limits is trying to lead us off to start.
Absolutely, and just going to go ahead and get that small combo. Very nice, 25%, 31, and at the corner, but that down air is going to, you know, mix things up a little bit. And this is already looking, again, as I said, very even.
Oh, the withdraw clanked with the banana. Oh, that's funny. I don't think I've ever seen that before. All right, well, that's how you know I'm having a good night, when I learn something new.
Oh, period. And this is already very nice ledge trapping coming on. I really do like this ledge trapping, and that's going to end.
Yeah. Squirtle, one of the lightest characters in the game. You get a really quick reversal with that banana in hand. All of a sudden, one less Squirtle on the field.
Oh, no. The little baby's gone. Oh. It's okay, because another, you know, baby Diddy-Kong is going to absolutely just put a little bit more damage on the board, and we can already feel, you know, a little bit of just damage starting to slowly rack up.
I loved that coverage from Limits. So try to cover a high recovery, answer with the down air as well. Do what he can to try and stop the stock from JDV. Get used to those rocket barrel packs, by the way. JDV wants to just put those out, and like they'll work. Should they work? No. Derek ought to know they shouldn't work, but he'll make it work.
Ooh, okay. Absolutely. Very nice recovery path right there, and you know, just getting back to the stage so safely. I feel like we haven't really seen, you know, Limits really challenge too much of, you know, JDV aside from whenever, you know, he's on ledge. He tends to normally jump, which was very good call out from him.
Oh, and the pivot grab, see what we can get with this offstage interaction. This is the big part here. And the rocket barrel almost stopped the approach. It was placed fantastically.
That had to be, you know, intentional.
It
because
certainly is.
Oh, what? That back throw is going to take it, and we're at 112% deficit. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's only looking like it's going to get worse as Banana to forward smash once again cleans up a stock, and Limits forced out onto last stock. That's a full stock lead that JDV has, and he's just going to be pressing forward with that lead.
Oh! No! That was such a...
Yo, the patience? The call-outs? The pivot grabs?
Got all of that. Anyways, and with 71%, really, I don't know if it's safe, if Limits is, you know, safe at this point, because we're at Squirtle as we saw, died at, what was it, like 80, 20, 90%?
Yeah, no, this is a kill percentage. Like, a banana into forward smash is not another situation that Limits is going to be able to survive. Arguably also wouldn't be able to survive it with Ivysaur, especially if JDV keeps on resetting situations before going for that kill. And given the percentage now, I'm pretty sure like a raw call out with that smash attack would make it curtains. Like, he's got to switch to Charizard or do something to stave off this pressure from JDV.
Absolutely. It's looking like they haven't really been, too comfortable with actually playing, as Charizard. Is it probably just because of the matchup, or what do you feel?
It's got to be the matchup. It could be the pacing of the matchup, because you saw how JDV kept that very high-octane game one, and kind of like he came out on top with it.
Well, that's going to be a very nice, game one, and I kind of feel like that wasn't, just bad overall. Like, from Limit's end, they definitely did play it pretty well, but it might be something that, they're just, like, not really, like, seeing just entirely yet. Yeah,
I think they need to figure out a way to have some sort of stage presence, take the banana off the field as best as they can. Believe in the Charizard, maybe, because, like, Charizard's going to be able to tango in the air a little bit better than Ivysaur or Squirtle.
At least for, ledge trapping positions, because I don't even think they were really, ledge trapping all that often. Because, I think it's like Afto definitely does hit at least somewhere of the ledge. It would definitely look like it would hit, Barrow. So they definitely could try something with that, trying to keep JDV more consistently on the ledge. But we're going to go back to where we're
going to small battlefield next. I like it. It's going to be a little bit less space to worry about. And I feel like all three of the Mons do have a lot of capabilities of controlling the space, both the plats as well as the base platform. You already saw a little bit of the grounded combos from Limits. Unfortunately, he did it in the direction where he didn't get a lot of ground. But Squirtle has a lot of opportunity to take the ledge and take the plats back. So if he's going to want to stick mostly to Squirtle and Ivysaur, I think this was a really good stage choice.
Absolutely. And I feel like one of the things about, small battlefield is just that it's a better PS2. We were having a conversation the other day about, people just really enjoying, small battlefield a lot more than PS2, just because, in the context of the, conversation was about Rob, but, it's probably just one of those things where it could be a little bit more of a comfortability pick, wanting to have a little bit more, room to just rush in and have just JDV not really have this much space.
Yeah, in the context of stages, like, this stage has a little bit higher of a ceiling compared to PS2, but the fact that it is a tighter in stage, it invites itself more to scrambles. So we've seen JDV regularly winning out in these scrambles, which, is why he would be able to take that game one as confidently as he did, and why he's taking the first stock here as well as he has. But I feel like there's a lot more room here for Limits to be able to fight back, deal more damage, and ultimately find kills easier.
And I think this is probably why we haven't really seen too much of Charizard. It's already looking like, along with what was kind of happening with their Squirtle, it was looking like they've kind of been struggling, Did a little bit of a few random jabs. Some of them did hit. It's just, I also feel like, they were trying to pick up a little bit on how useful it could be at ledge. But that up air is going to take that first stock, and we're not as bad as a deficit as we were before. But as we saw in the last game, we can definitely see JDV just end this stock pretty early.
Most definitely. It's just a matter of how well JDV can actually stop Limits from being able to press forward, because what we're looking at now is some Limits with some momentum behind him. That's not something that we've seen yet until this point in the set. And look at how well he's putting on the damage, how well he's confidently chasing down with Ivysaur. And he made back a pretty significant damage deficit now. Still looking a little rough, but very doable.
Ooh, and very good just being able to shield in time. A little bit of mis-execution on JDV. However, that isn't going to help, Limits a little bit too much as they're still on the ledge. But I definitely do love, that they did choose a stall in that moment. So very good, just in that moment.
They couldn't grab the banana in time, but I like the Razor Leaf as a reaction to the Rocket Barrel pack. I think it's very safe, pretty clever. Also a nice Vine Whip cancel. Unfortunately, Charizard gets picked out of the sky again. Ooh! You almost had it. Almost.
Oh my. Ooh, he's looking like he's kind of moving right now. That is not going to take it. However, we are in the corner, but going to get out pretty safely. Again, that's kind of one of the things that we definitely saw a lot, is just JDV not really struggling too much at ledge.
Yeah, when you're fighting Diddy Kong, like you have to be very confident with how well you can position your attacks at the ledge, because once Diddy Kong's in charge of the ledge, you're having a bad time. It doesn't matter what character you play in this game, as long as Banana is in hand and the Diddy Kong doesn't commit too hard to a coverage option, Diddy Kong has the tools. Now, Trainer doesn't lack tools in that regard, but like you still have to be careful about how you commit to those options, because you can't let go of Diddy Kong, or Diddy Kong just lets it rip on you. That's a very confident 2-0 from JDV.